Hi everyone, it's Norman Kochnick here for Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnick. We're here live as the Afghanistan versus New Zealand game unfolds. Obviously we have a do or die match, a D-Day match if you want to call it that, between two quite competent sides. I must admit they've been very competent this season. Let's just see if we can, see what they can do with themselves. So it's going to be an interesting match. Very, very interesting match indeed. In fact, the match starts in 28 minutes. I'm just working out whether you guys have got this live or not. I'm not sure that they have much of a chance. Yes, so again, it's Norman Kochnick here for Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnick. I'm going to bring people on very shortly. The reality is we have a blockbuster on our hands. We're going to have so many twists and turns now, it's not going to be funny. We're going to have a lot of twists and turns, I'm afraid, in a good way. But can Afghanistan beat New Zealand? That's India's only hope at this point. Otherwise, we've got a bit of a lost hope here, you would argue. I haven't heard from a lot of people today, and we'll certainly see whether people are coming on. Siddharth Richard Verner, so Willis, probably Go Correct Girl, who I normally bring on. So yes, this is going to be quite some humdinger. We're waiting now, very with bated breath as to who actually wins the toss here. That starts in, well, actually, let's look what the story is here. We don't seem to have any specific. Solomon Ranjan said this, Norman, so I don't know why Cameron's performance is too good, poor over, but too good here. I don't know either. I think New Zealand will win. Well, you would think so, but look, stranger things have happened, guys. Stranger things have happened. Very, very unusual, to say the least. I don't know where Apana is. Apana should be here somewhere. Apana's normally someone who's online. We are looking at a rather dramatic. Still haven't had a toss yet. This is an extremely important toss, I must say. Waiting on a few people to turn up. This match has been played in Abu Dhabi, not in Dubai. We have all sorts of permutations here, but the one permutation is clear. If Afghanistan win, they could well have just put India in. Afghanistan have won the toss. Afghanistan have won the toss and have chosen to bat. It seems to be their foil. It seems to be the way they do things. Same goes with Maxwell. So Afghanistan have won the toss and have elected to bat. Seems to be Afghanistan's stick at the moment. It seems to be the way that Afghanistan does things. I don't quite know exactly why, but they do. So Afghanistan have won the toss and have elected to bat. Very, very clear. Very, very clear. Afghanistan have won the toss and have elected to bat. There you go. Huge. Then keeping with the guns, they think that India and Afghanistan don't have any chance of something. Together, no, one does. Well, why wouldn't Afghanistan have a hope? If Afghanistan wins today, well, they're certainly going to put India in. They'll certainly put India in for sure. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So I'm just trying to see what the story is here. People say I'm not Indian. Well, it's not a matter of being Indian, but I'm trying to get the right permutation of how this match should go. So toss time and headed is the call, and Afghanistan will bat first. There you have it. What's happening there? We seem to have a I haven't got the, I don't know what the story is. Wi-Fi is off, that's probably why. Let's see if I can get heads as a call. Mohamed Nabi has won the toss. Mujib is back. Sharafuddin, the bowler who makes runs. There's some rather... So the heads is the call. Mohamed Nabi has won the toss. Afghanistan will bat first. Mujib is back. Sharafuddin is the bowler who makes way. Sad news. Like, there's some interesting permutations there. Very interesting thing. Will we see the fact that Mujib's back and Rashid Khan? They're both pretty significant. Very good death bowlers. Absolutely good death bowlers. Could be a very significant little situation there indeed. We've had an interview with Rory Burns regarding the Ashes. Justin Lang has talked about both the Ashes and, of course, the World Cup. Now that Australia are through to the semi-finals as of last night, I should update you on that. Of course, Australia won convincingly against West Indies. They made it through the semi-finals. With England, they lost against South Africa, but South Africa didn't have enough for and against as a net run rate. In particular, England, Jesus, they were a bit wobbly in them because they could have easily dropped to third because all three teams had 4 wins and 1 loss, with net run rate winning it for England over Australia, then to South Africa. So it was rather intriguing indeed. It was a rather it's a rather interesting little situation there indeed. So it's a very blurry photo I'm put up. Yeah, so the fact that Afghanistan are better first, that's what they want to do, which, you've got to respect that. But I don't know whether it's necessarily good enough for them. I think they probably needed to. They're not very keen on their situation there at all. I think they probably felt a certain desire to actually not have that happen. So, yeah, anyway, so, all right. So, it totally depends on today's match. It does. Everything depends on this match. It's very squarely on the backs of this match. So, we're only some 20 odd minutes, 20, actually, what is it now? 22 minutes away from the ball being bowled. So Mujib is back. Rashid Khan is there. Sharafuddin is the bowler who makes way. He wasn't that great in the last months. Kane Wilson said he would have chosen to bat first as well on a used surface. New Zealand playing an unchanged 11. So there's your clue. So let's have a look at that. That's interesting there. So, yeah, it's interesting how the decision would have been made then to Mr. Kane Williamson certainly has said he was following the same lines as what was already done. So it's interesting. It's very, very interesting indeed. You'd have to argue, though, that Afghanistan have to get a really decent score on the board. I hope we get to see good and competitive cricket. Jitesh Shaikla, I totally agree. It's time for that. So, I'd hope so too. We've got a hell of a lot going on here very quickly. A lot of action, a lot of activity, a lot of uncertainty. India sitting there with their nails being bitten at the moment. They've got no control over this match at all. Is it their fault? It is their fault. They should have beaten New Zealand, and they would have then not had this problem. But they didn't beat New Zealand, so they're stuck with this problem. They have basically squandered a potential chance to control this. They should have been at the top of their group. Pakistan got that, fine. Manu John, England versus New Zealand semis will be a complete heavy clash. It will be. And then Pakistan will play Australia, and you would think Pakistan would have to win that. You would have to think that. You'd have to think that would be a victory to Pakistan. They deserve it. Put it that way. I hope they don't muck around with their last one, so I hope they make sure that they get through that as well. So yeah, this is a do or die. It's amazing to see a game where India's not playing that we're all looking at. Come on, Afghanistan. Everybody seems to be going for Afghanistan. It's a little bit amusing, but not in a bad way. Yeah, it certainly is going to be an interesting match indeed. So this is really a matter of a lot of interest going on here, guys. A lot of interest. They haven't got the team sheets yet. They would, and Afghanistan certainly have. Hazatullah Zaizai with Mohammad Shahzad. They both batted very well as openers. Gurbaz, then Sadran Nabi is captain. Naib Gulbuddin Nad, Karim Janat, Rashid Khan, Naveen Al-Haq, Hamid Hussain, and Mujib Rahman. Damn good side, actually. The New Zealand team, as we said before, was unchanged. But, they're unchanged. We still want to know the side. Thank you very much. A lot of interest here. So, okay, the New Zealand side's just been put up, so I was noticed that. Obviously, Guptill Mitchell, Kane Williamson as captain, Devon Conway wicketkeeper and number 4 batter. And then you've got Glenn Phillips, James Neesham, followed by Santner, who I haven't been impressed with. Adam Mills bowled pretty well. Tim Southey, not bad. Saudi's bowled very well. Trent Bolt. So there's a few machinations there of people that have made their way into this. So very interesting indeed. The implications there are immense. The New Zealand side are pretty strong, but they would know as good as anyone. This is like kind of like a quarterfinal for them. Afghanistan would have okay. So Afghanistan will be decimated today. Afghanistan will be thrashed hard. Afghanistan, blah blah. Not Nabi told in toss he have pressure on his side. Also of Indian sports. That's right. Afghanistan would have millions of people are behind Afghanistan and India. They certainly are. And why not? Why not? Why not? There's no reason why we can't have that happening. This is what World Cup's all about. Vying for positions, teams versus teams. And obviously later on tonight we have certainly Botswana playing Tanzania, of course, as well. But let's have a little look here. Lots of interesting aspects to this. The fact that Afghanistan won the toss, it's going to be interesting. I'm not saying that it's gone. It's certainly, you can't say it's gone, that's for sure. You can't say it's gone. There's an element of certainty about the way that Afghanistan play. They play hard. They play very, very hard indeed. So, you can't begrudge them with that. I've also got to make sure that I get a hold of this limited. Why is it? I've always got limited ad suitability. I don't know why that is the case. Anyway, let's just see it. I'm trying to add a video, actually, guys. I want to know if I can add a video here. I'm trying to edit what we can do with the edit mode and all of its customization. Let's see the customization as we do it. Yeah, I'm not sure what the story is there. Anyway, good to see you. So New Zealand and Afghanistan, the great Afghans opted to bat. Yeah. Feel bad for South Africa, won 4 out of 5 and lost by small margin against Australia, but still didn't qualify for the semis. Rajashekar Balraj, look, that was bizarre. Let's not forget, Australia beat South Africa. England smashed Australia, yet South Africa beat England. It completely doesn't make any sense. Rishabh Tripathi, hi, sir. Love your video. Well, thank you. The great Afghani's up the back. Yeah, so look, it's a bizarre situation. It's really quite bizarre. I don't quite know what to say with this. It just seems to me that, we could have had a lot more of a situation occur there. I wonder if I can Video link, visibility, subtitles. I go live. What happens with that? I don't know. We'll work out a way to do that. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. Probably a StreamYard thing more than anything else. Yeah, so this is a hefty day for India and channeled through Afghanistan. Now, Afghanistan surely fried for batting first. They decided to do that, Manajan. They actually won the toss and they elected to bowl first, bat first. So that was their decision. It wasn't, nobody forced them to do it. That's what they want to do. We have to abide by their decision-making process, and really at the moment we can't knock it, because if they win, they play either India or themselves through to a semi-final spot. That's how crucial this is. Very, very crucial indeed. It's an amazing situation, actually. A lot to be said about this. A lot to be said. All right, well, we had a guest coming up there for a second ago. I saw a guest flirt. Where did the guest come from? Okay. Arun Singh, hello, Norman. Congratulations on Aussie getting through the semis. Aussie vs Pack will be a great battle. Haydos versus Joe. That's a very good point. Matthew Hayden versus Justin Lang. It's pretty good. They know each other's games pretty well. They haven't batted together. Yeah, it's interesting. I'd say that Pakistan got the edge there. I saw a guest name come up there. I don't know where that person disappeared to. So, Jachesh Shaikh says need to put on a decent score, 140s or so, to stay in contention. Going to be hard. If South Australia finished earlier against Bangladesh as they were chasing only 85, that would have been increased. Look, England, when they lost that last match, they still kept their first position, but boy, did they risk losing their semi-final berth. It could have been Australia and South Africa both together going through, but very, very fortunate. England, they one loss and they could have been out of the semis. It's quite incredible, actually. Imagine only having had one loss against in a group of 6 teams, having one loss and not making it. Interesting. I did say a guest person join us. No one joined us. Okay, I don't know who was meant to be there. Okay. All right, so with some 12 minutes to go before the play starts, we are looking at Afghanistan batting first. Now, their batting order, Zaizar and Shahzad, good players. And Gurbaz is not bad. Zadrana is not bad. Mohammad Nabi is very important as a batting line, batting at 5. Gulbuddin Naib can hit. Karan Janat, Rashid Khan, well, he certainly can bowl. Naveen ul Haq, Hamid Hussain bowled well, and Mujib Rahman. Mujib and Rashid Khan have a huge level of importance in their bowling effort later on tonight. Those two could do some serious damage to that New Zealand batting lineup and could well be the key component to this victory, if there's going to be a victory. But New Zealand, look, Guptill's batted pretty well. Mitchell actually had a pretty good innings too. Williams is steady. Devon Conway can do anything. Glenn Phillips has been mixed. James Eastman's been mixed. Mitchell Sanchez shouldn't be in the team. Adam Mills had reasonable effort. Southey and Bolt, reliable as hell. And, of course, Ish Sordi has been very sound in his bowling. I would not have bothered with Sam. I would have taken another bowler in his place. So who will face England in the series? Any guesses, Norman? Well, it's going to be between New Zealand, Afghanistan, and India. At this point, one of those 3 teams is going to be the team. Look, wise head would tell you New Zealand's going to win this. So that's probably who's going to play England in the semi-final. But England should win that. Pakistan will play Australia, and Pakistan should win that. England and Pakistan deserve to be in the final now. But if India somehow get through, that is, Afghanistan beat New Zealand and then India on the for and against net run rate on their last game, which they're playing tomorrow the day after, then that could well see India through. And then they play England and they can beat England. So it could end up being an India-Pakistan final. That's just dramatic. What a turn. Suman Awashi, hello. New Zealand knows that today they are actually playing against India, not against Afghanistan. Well, it's a quarterfinal, yes. Hey, Norman, big game today. Who are you rooting for? Look, of course I want the underdog winning Afghanistan. New Zealand won the World Test Championship earlier this year. They beat India. They made the final of the World Cup 2 years ago against England, which they lost, but they were close. It's time to give someone else a go. I think Afghanistan. Let's see if Afghanistan pull a miracle out of here. And then looks like Afghanistan back well, get 160, 170, and then Rashid Khan and Mujib work their magic. You don't know, do you? India will beat England in the semi-final. They will. If they play England, that's very, very strong likelihood. This was a resurgent South Africa with all the controversy they had to endure. But Boomer did a wonderful job leading the side. Considering all South Africa were pretty good, but it didn't matter. They didn't get through. So they're once again on the scrap heap of not winning through to a situation where they probably had it. Well, incredible. England could have missed out. England could have missed out. Unbelievably so. Would have been remarkable, but it could have happened. Absolutely. So this is in Abu Dhabi, this game. We had someone join and then not join. What was that? I was not admitting to who they are. If you're there, join, please. So, Strawberry, someone called Strawberry is saying rest in peace. It's rather amusing. Yes. So, at this early stage, we've got some 8 minutes before the play. I'm going to be going through the play. I'm going to be here ball by ball. We need Afghanistan's key return in a must-win. Well, of course, Mujib is the person they're talking about. Mujib and Rashid in tandem, that's going to be a significant set of overs. Indeed. You'd have to think that with the most significant set of overs that will occur. Now, I've released a Rory Burns interview. He's now in Queensland. In fact, I think on the Gold Coast in Queensland. He's there for his 2 weeks quarantine with Ben Stokes, with Hamid, the batsman, also Roots there, and quite a few others. I think I'm pretty sure Broad and Anderson are there as well. So they've got a fair few of their players sitting there waiting to get a chance to, show their wares, if so to speak. Yeah, so there certainly is a buoyancy to this whole game. This game is certainly going to take some ebbs and flows. Let's be honest, it's going to be an amazing, amazing match. I did a bit of a live video today, which we didn't get a chance to show, of Jim and Julie Farbanek, who are from California. They've actually gone to Tahiti. And they gave a shout out to Eyes on Cricket. I'm going to upload that video very soon. Lovely to see Tahiti. Bora Bora in particular, amazing spot. Everyone should have a look at that place. Australia versus England final for sure. Lucifer Johnson, that's a bit of a stretch. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it'll be Australia England final, but you'll have your right to your opinion, of course. So the truth is, even though Afghanistan win today, we only fancy India chance of 2%. Not right. We are fancying Afghanistan today. We want Afghanistan to win. We're rooting for Afghanistan at this moment, not rooting for India. Obviously, the byproduct of Afghanistan winning is probably India will go through. And if Afghanistan win by a big enough margin, they could go through. Let's not forget that. Afghanistan could put their way through. If Afghanistan slaughter England, absolutely slaughter them, they could see themselves go through. But that'll also depend on the way that India play the last match against Namibia. It is the last match against Namibia, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is. Schedule. Yeah, the Pakistan play Scotland, which India play Namibia. India have to absolutely thump Namibia. Say Namibia hold India to a very close match. India may not get through because their net run rate may not be good enough, but if they thump them the way we expect them to, they are likely to go through. It just adds a little bit of tenseness around that match too, because if Afghanistan win today, then it's up to India to really, really go home and give Namibia one hell of a thumping. Would you agree, guys? Tell me what your thoughts are. Yeah, Rory Burns' interview was pretty interesting, I thought. Anyone joining us? No, we had someone joining us before. Okay, so Suman Awashi says, how good is South Africa was just yeah, they did pretty well. Group A living up to their name of Group Death. Also, Group B had all the surprises. Yeah, it certainly did. First, Afghan needs to score 150 to be in the match. I would say 170. And then Namibia beat India. Well, that's a game over there as well. Yes, okay. I love their dance. Tahiti, it's beautiful Tahitian. I'll show you that video soon. I'll upload it. It's on my Instagram, but I'll show you on YouTube soon. as an Aussie, could you fancy New Zealand qualifying and India and being eliminated? No, not at all. What? Because I'm from Australia doesn't mean I'm connected to New Zealand. It's like saying Australia, New Zealand, India, Pakistan. India, Pakistan, you wouldn't go for one on the other side there, would you? So why would Australia go for New Zealand? I'm a bit annoyed that New Zealand are always there. Why would you want them there? Good chance for Afghanistan to put decent total on the board, yes. So no, I don't want New Zealand to win at all. I'm not fancying New Zealand whatsoever, to be honest with you. Not at all. Not even the slightest. No interest at all with them getting through, to be honest with you. Why should I? They're not, I'm not, just because they're near us doesn't mean it's like saying because Pakistan borders India, you should go for Pakistan, or if India borders Bangladesh, you should go for Bangladesh, or India borders, wasn't bordered, it's very close to Sri Lanka. So, no, does that mean that? It means exactly the same thing, so no. According to you, what would be the best target? I would say Afghanistan are capable of a big score. They've got, after 10 overs, 100, remember, against the West Indies. They could, if they really blast away and everything goes their way, they could score 170. Why not? Why not? It's 4 minutes to go before the play starts. Don't forget, India also have to play their game. Pakistan versus Scotland later on today. Then you have on tomorrow, effectively, because it's Tuesday and it's tomorrow, effectively, India play Namibia, and then it's all over Red Rovers straight to the 70s. So we're very, very close to a finish here, guys. What if Afghanistan win today? They have more chance of already to qualify. So it comes down to net run rate. Now, we look at the points table as it stands now. A points table as it stands now, Pakistan have a net run rate of 1.065, but they've got 4 wins, they're through. New Zealand have a net run rate of 1.277. India have 1.619, so they are ahead. And Afghanistan currently have 1.481. Now, if Afghanistan win really, really well tonight, they could go to 2. And India would have to really, really, really do well, and then they would go through. So if Afghanistan with a thumping win today, and India perhaps with a close win, not a big win, you may still Afghanistan go through. If India somehow qualify, they will go against England in the semis. That's true. Yep, they will play England in the semis, which is a major advantage for them. Yeah, Jason Roy did look injured, didn't he? He came back on the field shaking his hands. Didn't look good, but we've heard nothing about the extent of his injury at all at this point. So, but being so close to a final, it could be a bit of a worry for England, for sure. They wouldn't be happy with that situation. So, again, just quickly, Pakistan's net run rate is 1.065. Actually, the worst of the top 4 sides. But they've won 4 games and lost none. So that's their Achilles heel. They're through on that basis. And they're playing Scotland. So, you know. New Zealand 1.277 at the stands now. India 1.619. They've come back from a very minor situation to a very positive situation. And Afghanistan 1.481. So there's not much between India and Afghanistan as it stands now. But if Afghanistan lose today and New Zealand win, they're immediately through. Okay? And extreme as it might sound, if Pakistan lose their match badly to Namibia, to Scotland, which we're not expecting, then New Zealand could go to number 1. But I don't think that's going to be the case. So along with Kabul, okay. Yeah, there's a fair bit going on there, so don't worry. A fair bit to wait and see, I must say. Now, I would have thought there'd be a lot more going on there. How interested, guys, are you on the Ashes between Australia and obviously England? Are you interested? Because I'm going to be covering that. So I would expect you guys to continue to watch that with me during the Test series. I'll be covering India versus New Zealand before that, and simultaneously India versus South Africa. I'd love to go to South Africa to watch that, as a matter of fact, but I may not be able to. It's all about my mother, guys. That's the reason why I'm drowned a bit. Why are you promoting someone to speak something in a foreign language? I'm not promoting it correctly. I didn't quite get it. Ashes we want. So month to month, you're going to get it. Do try some Kabuli. Okay, well, I will try whatever I can get on my hands on. I love food. Full stop. I love food. Full stop. So we've got a game starting now. It's still 9 o'clock. It must be very close to kickoff point. Let's have a look. So 5 p.m. now. So I'm going to be going throughout this whole match today, guys. So I've got a few comments there. So let me just have a quick look there. How are we going to do this? So we should have the national anthems being sung now for both New Zealand and Afghanistan. Well, they're into the game itself. My apologies, we're a bit behind here. Australia were dominant. Yeah, so Sizai and Shazad are there. Only one ball face so far. First shot that Shazad's hit is hit down the ground, and he's hit 4. He's on the attack immediately. Please invite Gil. I have invited Gil. He should come a bit later, quick legends, don't worry. Who would I fancy in Ashes? I'm pretty even keel, actually. Now, this is a good start. Shazad's just taken Tim Southey and beautifully hit it straight over his head. I like that. I like that a lot. I like the style of Shazad. Might be like a bit of an Inzamam al Haq, doesn't it? Suman Sashi says Australia 3-1 or 4-1. Let's not get too carried away there, guys. Shazad 9 for 6. Go for it. Let's go for it, Afghanistan. Let's show a bit of gusto. So as it stands now, South Africa, Sri Lanka, West Indies, Bangladesh are all out. Namibia and Scotland are out. The only certainties to go through are England and Australia with Pakistan. The fourth team, of course, will be between, at this point, New Zealand, India and Afghanistan. And after the game we're watching now will quickly tell us if New Zealand lose this match, then they're out. It'll be only India and Afghanistan that you would think would be in the better position to win. If Afghanistan's net run rate is better than New Zealand are straight away out. Afghanistan will have to wait and see how India goes, see whether their net run rate will survive. Instead of watching along, do a 1 hour review for the Ashes at the end of the day's play. We'll look at that, don't worry. If you not, it's too early. Ashes review is way too early. If you want to make your streams more professional, you can make some regular viewers moderators. Okay. Once you watch along is awesome. I think so too. Afghanistan 9 for 6, and this is Southey's last delivery of his first over. 9 for 6, good start. And Shazad's just happily just plonked it there. If he gets a 4 or 6 every over, they're in with a bloody good chance. I mean, look, we'll leave the watch along for now. We'll look at the way we look at my videos. I'll get some feedback post-World Cup. We'll change things there, especially the test series. We'll talk about how we're going to do that. But at this point, we'll leave things the way they are, guys. Trying to work out how. So today's landmarks, Adam Milne needs 3 wickets to 150 in T20s. Guptill needs 26 runs to 8,000 runs in T20s. Russia needs 1 wicket to 400 in T20s. Russia, 400 wickets in T20s, magnificent. 8,000 runs for Guptill, also magnificent. The Bolt, the opening with Saudi and Bolt, no spin. Bolt's only 32. I thought he was a little bit older than that, but he's only 32. He's had 5 matches and has taken 8 wickets. Zai's got a bit of an awkward batting style. I rather like it. It's rather interesting. It's nothing to worry about there. We're going to go for a marathon session today, live, guys. We're going to ask plenty of questions. We'll talk about other things. AFGHANISTAN Chopper's voice is too irritating, displeasing to the ears, overrated commentator analyst. Quick legends. He's all right. He's played for India, opened the batting for India. He has every right to be the way he is, and he's got followings, just as a number of the other commentators are too. Bolts coming into. I like Shazad. I really like the way he plays. There's something chubby about him. Of course, I like that because I'm chubby. But yeah, Trent Bolt. We're looking at a review of his bowling. Been great in the IPL, as Trent Bolt, certainly. He's been a revelation for the IPL, but this series he hasn't exactly. He got 3 for 20 in one of his earlier matches. He hasn't exactly taken the world by storm, I wouldn't say. Gary Steed, New Zealand head coach, was just showing. And that was a short ball. Was there a no ball there? Was that a no ball? No, that wasn't called no ball. Okay. So I have got a. I'll look at the Facebook situation for a moment. And we're looking at. I've uploaded Rory Burns' interview, which was very interesting, guys. You should have a look at that. Rather than irritating, I would call it comedic. But Manjaka, on the other hand, though, is good. Yeah, I would say Manjaka is very good. Okay, let's look here. The Langer video as well I'll upload as well. And there's also the interview with Jim and Julie from Bora Bora and Tahiti. So watch that, guys. I'm uploading both of those. I'll download the Langer interview. It's great to see Afghani supporters there in the crowd with the magnificent outfits. It's very, very, very impressive indeed. You got to give your hats off to the way they do things. Very impressive indeed. And we're not trying to load 7. Let's have a look at. What Australia are there too? I'm not sure. Trying to create a video. So look, none for 7. Bolt's only considered the 1 run so far in this over. Manjaka is bad, very bad, and condescending. Yeah, but he's pretty articulate though, and he knows his stuff. So I wouldn't knock him that heavily. Where's Langer? There it is. There. I'm going to upload the Langer interview now as well. 5 dot balls on the trot is pretty impressive, isn't it? Pretty impressive indeed, you have to say. So, the caps on. Media conference. We got some Justin Langer. Justin Langer, of course, is the coach. But it was interesting when the people were talking about the matchup between Pakistan and Australia, who have, in fact, Pakistan with Matthew Hayden and Australia with Justin Langer, both opening partners. Quite interesting. Pakistan are favourites because of England injuries. Okay. Tim, tell us more about the injuries. I know that Jason Roy certainly was one. I don't know, are there any others that I haven't heard of? I'd like to know more about it if you can dredge up. I haven't actually followed what's happened to Roy. He didn't look very good. He limped. And World Cup chances is well, headline that is. Okay, so poor batting. Shahzad's gone. Well, that's really disappointing. If we could, it was a good catch. Conway off Milne. Mohamed Shahzad caught Conway bowled Mill off a very good catch actually for 4. He had to go for it. You can't knock him. Control C. There you go, bang bang. Control V. It certainly is a sad situation. Mohamed Shahzad was someone who I would have thought would have been the main person. So on fitness matters for players, he was thinking of to hit only 4 and 6, not 2 singles. And there goes India's chance of going to the semi. Well, I wouldn't jump that far just yet. It's a little bit still early. You know, famous last words. Famous last words, guys. It doesn't look good though, does it? Doesn't look good. I mean, do we really think they had a chance? I don't think anyone really genuinely thought they had a chance. But we had to be buoyant. There's still some batting to go. It's Australia v Pakistan. Oh boy, that's a big match, isn't it? Oh, what a catch. I'm not sure what was going on there, but that was a great catch, let's be honest. Below 150, no chance. I guess they need to score 150 plus. You're right, Sonny, I agree. I totally agree. Totally agree. Milne has certainly been my goal too. You know, Lockie Ferguson, who's out as well. I had a few players that are certainly are out in and out here. So what's the story there in terms of? Is the game happening in Abu Dhabi? Actually, the game is in Abu Dhabi. So what was that? That was. We're going at 24 there now. 426. That's not enough. So okay. So there's a total of 824 videos. $526 recorded, and a further 298 live. We're not going 298 live. Okay. It's funny, they keep asking me if I want things monetized. Of course I do. All right. Raham Mohalla approach looks positive. Yes, it does. Is this happening? It's happening, as I said, in Abu Dhabi. You'd have to have some doubt. Yeah, so Justin Langer there has talked another one gone into his chance of getting bleak. It's fun, isn't it? Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating, guys, I know. I'll have to be honest, I'm a bit frustrated now. The whole thing implodes. The whole thing starts to implode, doesn't it? New Zealand are too strong. Team India should be booked their tickets to Mumbai airport now. Another one gone out. Well, some of these famous last words, guys. Afghanistan 2 for 12. Gulbuddin Nab has gone up the order a little bit. It's looking pretty pathetic, isn't it? But let's just hold your horses a little bit, guys. You just don't know, guys. You just don't know. You do not know. Now you have got the premiere of the other video too of Justin Langer is there. It's nice people, you know, they've given Afghanistan a real underdog feel about it. You can't knock them. They've done their best, haven't they? See, JL. Okay, it's New Zealand's third game in 6 days. It's pretty heavy. Afghanistan should have bowled first. Yeah, I have to say that was one mistake. Samanchi Pramod, how are you? Hello. Tim Wilton Davies, what have you said? They're my England team for the semi-final is Bairstow, Butler, Melbourne, Livingston, Milan, Morgan, Willie, Oakes, Jordan, Wood, Rashid. Okay, well, you're bringing Willie in, I see. And you've left, oh no, you got Moeen Ali. That's a pretty good side. Justin Langer will be quite bored. Afghanistan should have bowled first, yeah. I have to agree with that. I'm afraid I have to agree with that. I have to agree with that. It's been a little disappointing, hasn't it? It is a little bit disappointing indeed. So we have so JL versus MH. Opening days. Yeah, they'll be pretty G'd up, won't they? It's New Zealand. Okay, Afghanistan can't even score 100 as they are playing. Oh yeah, I agree, Prasan. Afghanistan should have gone for belt. Yeah, they should have. They should have bowled first. Should have bowled. Yep, I agree. And the other thing is that really annoys me is that I just think that how they're approaching this. This is my question. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Don't give up yet, guys. Don't give up yet. Just hang about. Just hang about. We just don't know yet. We really do not know what's going to happen in this match. It's still way too early to be sure of anything. Okay, so way too early to know exactly what's going to happen here. So England v New Zealand, we're saying. That's probably what we have to look at. England versus New Zealand. And who's going to win that? You think England. Pakistan versus, well, probably be Australia. Well, probably will. They will be Australia. There's another very significant match. And England v Pac. You have to say that. England versus Pakistan final. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at that with my predictions there. So let's go to the game now again, guys. Yeah, Afghanistan looking right out of their depth. They're 2 for 8 after. And the 5th over, they're barely getting 3 and over here. They're scratching around. They're playing against Bolton, Southie, and Milne, and they're all damn good players. And sometimes you just need to bat normally and build, not go too aggressively from the start. And they're probably gone. And that was way, way, way outside of something. Really, I don't know what they were trying to do then. Shazad was pretty much a key player in this thing. You play conventional shots, get your singles and twos, and then fours will come and build. One of my Suckdale says one of my friends predicted that New Zealand and England may be playing to the World Cup final. No, that's impossible now. Impossible for them to play the final because they're in the same group. In fact, England will play New Zealand in the semi-final. So one of those two teams will go through, but not both. Best economy rate is New Zealand was 6.26 in the series. England was 6.61, South Africa 6.69, Pakistan 6.97. So interesting. Looks like Milne are having a bit of a field day here at the moment. Very little to worry about. It's Rashid Khan is scratching his head like he's got no tomorrow going on. I know we're going to lose you guys. Goblin 5 of 7 and Raj Manula 6 of 8. Steady, but they've got to ink out a score here. Sonic Premier is going on. Yeah, I know. I'll put a Premier out for this later. One of my friends predicted Australia will win the World Cup. Well, they have a chance. I'm not going to deny that. They have a chance. Afghanistan lost the 3rd wicket now. They're 3 for 19. Ram Manula is walking off. Southie's just bowled a delivery. Ball pitched up, and it's hit him absolutely plumb. Oh, it's time for him to pack their bags, Kevin. I think you're right. Well, no, we've got to let New Zealand bat first. What if Afghanistan get 80 odd, but then they bowl really well and they get them out? Sono's saying, as I told you, not even 100. You're right on here. These players, yeah, not even 100. No, that's true. And Afghani supporters are looking quite sick in the stomach. The Afghani men there that are in the crowd, beautifully dressed. I must say, Afghani men, very well dressed. But Afghanistan have given it a nice little shake. They haven't exactly done nothing. They produced a miracle so they could have made the semi-finals, which is a remarkable position to be in. Really, really remarkable position to be in. Najib Sadrana's come in at 3 for 19 off 5.1 overs. Yeah, it looks like we could have a very early finish here, guys. Looks like. Doesn't mean it will happen. That was a nice shot there from Najib. Straight through the covers for 2. Yeah, I think that was Ahmed Nabi. Oh, that was as plumb as they can ever be. It can certainly is. That was plumb. That unfortunately was very plumb. We're trying. That's all you can ever hope for. That's all you can ever hope for. So they bowl a rather short delivery there. Anything can happen in cricket until the last ball is bowled. Let's wait and see. Afghanistan not batting to the par. No, they're not. Cohen's classy catch rocks Afghanistan. That was quite a classy catch. Striking man, I think was Mohammed Nabi there. He's quite a striking looking guy. If that's him. Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, let's be honest. Shazad, disappointing today, mate. Very disappointing. Got to try and promote these videos. Look, Australia should be very happy. They're going to be through to a semi-final, which they probably didn't expect. They probably didn't expect to get there. Sucktill agreed, but some matches are one-sided as it was going to be. Yeah, look, it's one-sided, but it's not about being one-sided. It's about just letting it run its course. We jump into conclusions too early can be rather detrimental, as you probably know. Why is that not working? So JL v Hayden. JL v Hayden. That's the way I describe that. It is one-sided match, even before the toss, though. Afghanistan go for bowling is surprising. Yeah, look, it's Afghanistan's way of doing it. They've decided that's the way to go, even though popular opinion would not say to do that. So, courtesy of Cricket Australia. JL v Hayden. Yes. Very frustrating, guys. I know, I'm frustrated as well. You know, with the next match, Pakistan versus, of course, Scotland. That's pretty much it's a fait accompli there, isn't it? Bit of a fait accompli, guys. I'm going to share to. So, is there any hope? Is there any hope, guys? I would not just give up hope just yet. Just copying and pasting madly at the moment. It's a okay. Sad to see that RSL won 4 matches and got 8 points until eliminated. Well, yes, but they played badly against Australia. They suffered some. Well, they didn't get through. It's a matter of now having to put that in perspective. England could have fallen out as well, and they didn't. Australia could have fallen out. They didn't. It's just the way the cookie crumbles, I'm afraid. Yeah, those two videos are going up. The third one in a minute. Yeah, let's talk about the South Africa situation. South Africa were without Faf du Plessis, weren't they? Chris, not Miller, Dave Miller was there. Chris, I've got Chris's last name. The bowling sensation there, Chris. I've forgotten his name. Who was playing for? I understand they got paid an absolute pretty penny. You had Tahir not there. Shamsi bowled well. Pavuma didn't play that well. His captaincy was very ordinary against Australia. Had they beaten Australia, South Africa, they would have been through because they beat England, didn't they? They beat everyone else. So, Australia got thumped by England and well and truly thumped. Let's not beat around the bush there. And then England's loss was probably the most scratchy head one, I think. I don't know what was going on there at all. So Afghanistan now a 3 for 28 off 7. Slight recovery, not a great recovery. Run rate of 4.05. Now after 20 overs, it's 80. They have to jump it up to 6, if not 7, if not 8. Yeah, it's not likely, is it? Look, as long as they ink out 120 plus with a guy like Majid and Washington Khan bowling and an element of pressure from New Zealand, you don't know. Shazad tried hard and didn't succeed. He went for it from ball one, and the shot he played was the most bizarre one, but it was a great catch though from Conway. 3 for 30. They got to really get stuck in the sand. That's where Shazad should have waited. They saw this tournament is out of India's hands. Pakistan are the best 11 left. Yeah, I'd say Pakistan are. We'll see how they dispose of Scotland, as India played Namibia the last couple of games. and then Pakistan will play Australia, and really, Pakistan should win and win well. When England played Australia, it was like they're playing a deer in front of headlights. They played badly, Australia, and I would argue that Pakistan should do the same damage to Australia. England versus New Zealand, interesting one, but England should still prevail. There we go. Najib's just hit the ball to the boundary for 4. It's good. So, interview with Rory Burns. Pakistan, I know Tim Milton Davis is right. So, Rory Burns' interview was there. Pretty interesting. Justin Langer's interview at this point is going okay. Not a hell of a lot of viewers, but it's all right. Little Bill, how's that 20 going? What's going on? And then, of course, the live from this match. Afghanistan 3 for 36 off 8. Okay. I'd say 55-45 over both England and Pakistan in their semi-finals. Okay. This time Pakistan performed really well. One more thing to their dusting forwards is New Zealand last moment score with the withdrawal, even after landing in Pakistan. Yeah, that was pretty disgusting. No need to play tomorrow. Much an issue declare Namibia winner. That will be good for small team. So they're not going to do that. Stop saying such ridiculous things. Shazad's still got his pads on, I think. Yeah, it's frustrating, let's be honest. It is very frustrating, guys. I'm going to admit to that. What can we do? 3 for 37 off 8.1. Nations on the ball. Who they should be tonking. Now, if Afghanistan get 120 plus, it would not think that it's a canter for New Zealand to win. Rashid and Majid take wickets early on. You don't know. Actually, Afghanistan playing like India did against New Zealand. Batting first right decision, no, Abhishek Sharma's the worst decision. But that's Afghanistan's way of doing things. I guess we can't complain. They stuck to their game plan. Okay? That's the reality of all. They stuck to their game plan. Jimmy Neesham's been pretty ordinary, really. Virat be like Ben Stokes, let me come out and bat. Yeah. So there was a video there from Jim and Julie Farbanek, who are guys from California. I've had them on the show earlier on in the year. They both have gone from Los Angeles effectively to Tahiti through Papeete to Bora Bora in Tahiti. Don't play cricket. They're French, but hey, they bet some hellos from there. So we'll see that. 3 for 40 off 8.4. Now, they're 50 or 60 after 10 overs. 120 is still possible. 140 would be better, and 160 would be even better. It was a real Najib, so it was a very nice shot indeed. Beautifully played straight drive off Nishan, who's a pretty ordinary bowler. It was quite a nice shot, actually. He was lifting him straight over the top of his head. Hitting straight is a lot of merit hitting the ball straight, isn't it? Lance Klusner, what a man. Oh, it looks quite aggressive looking. He's quite a character. He's got his African looking beads around his neck there. Najib's looking pretty good actually on 17. Need to build this partnership. I think this partnership is pretty important. And we've got a big thick edge on that. That's going to go for 4. It'll count. 48 after 9. Now look, if they get around the 60 plus mark after 10 overs, that's quite a sound start, despite losing 3 wickets. They keep going at that rate. They could push for 140. If they go nuts, they can get 160, but I don't know if they've got the batting to do that. And then anything over 140, nudging 160, New Zealand will feel a little bit of pressure. Back to B. 30% Afghanistan, 70% New Zealand as match till now. Okay. How is the COVID situation in your region? In my region, well, we've got a couple hundred cases a day, roughly, in New South Wales. Probably maybe a couple of thousand in the country. Deaths of a dozen or so. But where our vaccination rates are now 80% plus for second dose. I'll be heading for close to 90% by the end of November plus for second dose. That's pretty high. It's exceptionally high. Probably one of the best in the world, actually. Took us a while to get there, though. We didn't get it quickly, that's for sure. Not being joined by anyone. I don't know if someone joined me left. I know Aparna's, Lakshmi Sharma's coming a bit later. We've got Aparna, we've got, it's going to be probably a sad discussion, actually. Very sad discussion. The Saudis only bowled the 1 delivery. And Najib's got to take to him. And he's hit a beautiful shot. Beautiful shot into the gap for 4. Najib, tell you what, he's looking very elegant. Impressive vaccination stats, though. They are. They're well over 80% for second dose, and third, and by the end of the month, they'll be around 90. I think it's 93.8 first dose. 93.8. That's very high. Yeah, but we lagged behind. We should have done that a lot earlier. We witnessed some severe lockdown. In fact, Melbourne, Australia was the most locked down city in the world, which is pretty embarrassing. Some of the cases were nowhere near big enough to warrant quarantining that long. Sonu, Norman, what are you saying, Sonu? What are you asking me? What do you want to know, Sonu? You're a bit frustrated, aren't you? I get it. I don't think anyone's not frustrated here. Galbadin. Very short ball there from Saudi. Not quite put away the way they would like. Look, they're 55 with they're just 2 balls short of 10 overs, and they're 55 now. Look, 60, around the 60 mark, maybe 70, is a very good first 10 overs. You should accelerate into the next one. So they're looking towards a 120 plus score, maybe close to 140. It's making it reasonable. These two have to continue batting. 140 will be game on. Yes, I would agree. Abhishek Sharma, 1 foot, as close as we can get to 140 will be game on. It's going to make Rashid Khan and Majid bowl to this team. Afghanistan have batting strength, so they need to hit and take chances. These two need to stay. I agree. These need to stay deep. Oh, is he out? was such a wide delivery. Did not deserve that shot there from Gulbadin. Way, way, way away from the stumps and inside edge, back on the stumps. The bowler can't take credit for this wicket. There's a leg spinner which was very wide, and he's dragged it back. My God, from well outside, almost a wide. Yeah, the due may well the due won't be a problem because this is early match. The due will be relevant in the second match, not the first match. Yes, the due won't be a problem. It'll be a problem for whoever the bats last between Pakistan and Namibia. Well, they're playing Scotland, Pakistan and Scotland, I should say. No due factions, though. Exactly, Abhishek, you're right. Any two suits, adds on here for suits at the moment. Live or dual and day match won't happen. We know that. That was a mistake by the person who made that comment. Don't worry. They were thinking not. Are you watching cricket for the first time? That person, it's a nasty comment. So they may have made a mistake. They may have not realised it was a day match. Maybe they thought it was 9. Who knows? 10 overs, 56. Good score. Needs 10 overs. They must take 100. Yeah, that's true. They can do it. They keep their batting. Yeah, well. Suck to it. Don't worry about Lucifer Very. He's just being nasty. You shouldn't. Listen, pull your head in. Give the guy a go. He made an honest mistake. I've done it too. I've said it without looking. Because then we'll chase this target very easily. We would assume so, but we just don't know yet. Let's see whether that happens. Imagine if Rashid Khan and Mujib take 5 or 6 wickets very, very, very quickly. Then it's game on. During the breaks you're looking at, you don't even know the target yet. Exactly. We don't know the target, that's correct. We simply don't know the target. It was a remarkable catch. There was a very bizarre shot from Shazad, but it was a remarkable catch. Then, of course, second wicket was pretty straightforward catch, and then the third was clearly LBW. And the fourth, we just saw him in again. Well outside. I haven't now we can bat, so I still got a little batting left. It was so wide. How could you collect the stumps on? In fact, the leg stump too. And you played far too early, really, on that. Southie, Bolton, Miller will take 1 wicket. Neesham, Sand, Noyed, and Sorty. Neesham, Sand, being a little bit expensive. Good. Kane Williamson, not unlike the captaincy of Barbara Zund, they're very similar. And Owen Morgan, for that matter, they're rather calm captains. So the live ladder shows New Zealand in second spot, Afghanistan in fourth, with India in third. That could well be the way it stays. It's a good shot. The Velsman there. Well, if Afghanistan get 130, push towards 140, they're going to make it somewhat of a game to watch. And look, you never know. 4 or 5 quick wickets, New Zealand could be feeling the pressure. It was actually well played into the gap there, backward point. At least they got 2. I think they all got 2. Yeah, they got 2. So they've gone for 5 that over. 4 for 61. Now look, Najib and Nabi take control here and battle Namibia. I think that minimum of 140 is required for pressuring the full New Zealand batting line. Do you agree, Norman? JL. Okay. I would say that, yeah, that's a fair summation. But if Rashid Khan and Mujib bowl well, they might put some early pressure. They might take some early wickets. And that will put that extra bit of pressure on them. But at 4 for 61, it's not looking like they're going to. Well, let's just wait and see. They lost 3 wickets in the power play. That was pretty significant. They only lost 1 in the subsequent overs. So it is come on. He's not bad, Bob. He's not that great. Sanders not much either. I have to argue. I don't think it's too bad. So we're in Abu Dhabi today. I think we're basically heading into Dubai from now on. It has to be wide. They call it wide? What do they call it? Why wasn't they called a wide? It was a wide. The score prediction is 131, which is reasonable. Not there's any more wickets on these two, go for it. Let's have a look here. So he's bowling quite accurately, but not doing it. There's no demons in his bowling. For the one ball that he got the wicket, it was way, way outside of something. Deserved to be crunched. Bizarre. Saudi coming in to bowl 1 for 11, I think it's 1.4 overs. Take him out of the ground. That's a good shot. It was down deep, bit off us there. Heard about staying at Taronga Zoo today. There's a nice accommodation there with $600 a night. Yeah, breakfast and dinner, but you get to see the animals. Okay. What's the best condition and behaviour? Will it suit all against predators? I think so. I think these two aren't doing much at the moment. It's during the day. There'll be enough to that twilight happening. So 4 for 66 off 12. The run rate's 5.5. So looking at 110 minimum. Could be 130 if they really go for it. They don't lose any wickets. We could be looking at that sort of score. Look at the sand around that ground. Most runs, 131 Najib said run. Most wickets, Rashid Khan 7. Most sixes, Ramanullah Gurbaz, who's out, got 7. So Afghanistan 1-2 lost 2. It's not a bad record. They've obviously beaten the Minnows and Namibia and Scotland. They gave pretty good shakes against other top sides. Afghanistan are there or thereabouts. They're not that far away anymore. Southey's looking facially quite old. Not physically, yes, not facially certainly. Bolt's 32. He looked older than that. No run there. So it's now 4:30. Afghanistan are sort of just playing around a bit. They're not exactly doing very much, are they? People are losing interest in this match, I think. I hate to say it. Southeast basically 4-dot balls. This is not a good over. We're losing interest here, guys, I know. The Afghanistan side there with Rashid Khan and Mujib would be talking tactics. There's no doubt about that. Talking tactics indeed. So what's the pitch condition? We've talked about that earlier on. It's really, there's a bit of spin there for sure. Low and slow would be the way that would be predicted, I would say. Low and slow. Najib's been pretty steady. He's on 31 off 20, 32 off 26. He's been steady. He's been steady. So most wickets in T20 International. 117 is Shakib Al-Saim, 107 with Lassit Malinga. Tim Southey is now 105, Rashid Khan 102, and Shahid Afridi, not Shaheen, but Shahid Afridi, 98. So Southey's third, behind Shaka Al-Hussein and Oscar Malenka. And Rashid Khan could well go past them, at least Tim Southey today, if he gets a lot of wickets. Let's hope he does. If he gets a 5 for, he goes up to second. Certainly a good enough bowler to really penetrate early on, especially. And he's got a hold of this, but has Najib got a hold of it enough? He certainly has. He's hit a pretty massive 6. Najib 30 out of 27. He's certainly looking pretty good. 4 for 74. Oh, it was a shocking delivery. It was yanked down short. Just sat up and looked at him. He's hit it again this time, not as successfully. Najib's 39. He's looking pretty solid to me. Okay. So let's have a look how we go here. We're in a situation. Which team is looking most likely to lift the cup? Abhishek Sharma asks. I still think Pakistan or England. Australia, a possibility, of course, in the semis now. And New Zealand as well, if they make it. And there's another 6 to Najib. He's gone to 45. If he keeps batting like this, we could see some fireworks. 4 for 82 off 13.4. It's bang on 6 and over now, so they've reached the 120 mark. On average, they should be getting around that mark. They can push to 130. A bit lucky and close to 140. This is these average here. Sanders upset when he bowled a crap ball. Is Buckle Dutters join us? Is this 140 a good total? Oh, it's going to have to do, isn't it? It needs to be 150 plus, yes. But look, it all comes down to how Mujiba and Rashid bowl. It was a horrible full toss, that was. Round 2 there. Najib's on 47. He's done pretty well, Najib, considering all. Let's be given some credit. There's a girl in the crowd there. And I guess it's actually Afghani supporter. Najib's look really, really good. He's going to hit score there too, and he's on 49 off 31 deliveries. This is not a bad little 50 he's been putting together here. 87 4 off 14. Their run rate's gone at 6.21. Look, keep escalating. You could see a 7 running over, which is 140. Shot tracker there. It's gone over the boundary quite comfortably. Yeah, okay. It's Shahwaz, okay. Yeah, 140 is on the cards, I would have to say it will be. It's a big over. They scored close to 20 off that over. A couple more of those overs and we'll be looking at a battle. Can Afghanistan score 150? Well, if they got 6 overs left, they get 60 runs, they're 147. That's very gettable. A 10 and over is 147, 12 and over is 159, 8 and over is 135. So current run rate, they're 124. So things are picking up a little bit there for them. It was a great catch from Conway, I must say. So there's 2 more matches left, isn't there? There's 2 more matches. So schedule. This is the 40th match, the 41st, which is tonight, Pakistan versus Scotland, and then effectively tomorrow, the 42nd match, which is India versus Namibia. Russia can tonk a few with the ball bat as well, yeah. Reckon hasn't got lucky, but I guess. Look, still plenty of the score predictor saying 143. Score predictor saying 143. That's, look, 150 or 143 and above, it's competitive. It's not a landslide victory. One 199. 11. Okay. Let's just see. 14.4 hours, 4 for 88. He's got a pretty ordinary delivery there. He's on 49, he's about to get his 50. Very impressive. Very impressive. Nothing to be sneezed at here. Damasceno is the umpire. There is Najib's just scored his 50 off some 32 deliveries, 33 deliveries in fact. 50 or 33 for Najib. Pretty impressive. And a score of 89, that's very impressive. With what is Nabi doing? Yep. Yeah, we saw that. Yeah, Nabi's playing sensibly, Bakul Dada is saying. Well, he's just hit a cracking 6. No, he hasn't. Didn't quite get to the boundary. I thought it was on its way. He got 2 out of it though. 4 for 91 off 15. Run rate 6.07. Dropped a little bit then. 5 overs. If they get 50 off the last 5 overs, it's 141. So it's striking a 50 is not sensible. Who for the team, you mean? No. Well, where's the strike 50? 50 off 33 is 150. Yeah. Current run rate, they get 121. 8 and over, they get 131. 10 over, they get 141. And 12, they get 151. So they scored 3 for 23 in the first 6 overs, and the 7 to 15th, so they 1 for 68. So much improved. So yeah, they're improving. Can't be discarded yet. Sladran's not the one that scored the 50. They made a mistake, I think. Beautiful shots from Najib's innings. Last 5, 34 hours. That's pretty good. Talking about Nabi, not Najib. Okay. got to give him some credit here, guys. He's finding gaps, isn't he? Well, getting 6 overs 120. They need to up that now. Pretty good resurrection. Quick info prediction is 137. Okay, I'm still 140 plus is going to be a fair total. A fair total. It's 7 and over. They haven't reached there yet. They should be taking the Jimmy Nation. He's just that sort of shorter length, medium pace bowler. They should be taking to him. Shouldn't they? Most overs without considering a free hit. 133 for Namibia, 94 for New Zealand, 93 for England, 70 for India, 58 for Ireland. So pretty good. Well, Afghanistan are fast approaching 100. There's still got 3 or 4 overs to go. They could still really go for it. No, Jib will probably get an IPL contract. He's certainly batting well enough. Yeah, well, these two had a pretty good over. Okay. It's a reasonable. If Afghanistan wins, there will be a big firecrackers in there. There will be. Najib will get an IPL contract. He may well. There are some interesting matchups for sure. Okay, come on, Afghanistan. This World Cup body is badly for Australia. Yeah, come on. I think last 4 overs, they need at least 40 runs. Yeah, in fact, last 3 overs, yeah. I think we're going to see some fireworks. Okay, waiting for Fox to update. 2 overs of Bolt, not easy to put him away. That's true. But Afghanistan got nothing to lose, have they? Okay, there's something like one short ball, was it? I think it was a short ball. Shockingly slow ball, wasn't it? The 100's up. Oh, that was a nice clip shot. Oh, it didn't quite reach. There's 100. Afghanistan 4 for 100. Very excited. Afghanistan, oh no, one short. 100 up. Maybe one short. Drops. Yeah. Oh. Oh, I would have given that. Yeah. I would have given that. Back up to 100 anyway. So they've got one ball short of 3 overs left. If they can, get 50 off, that'll be great. Unlikely, but we'll see. So the first 50 for Afghanistan took 57 balls, second was 47, so there's been an improvement. Yeah, that's not the worst total in the world. Most wickets, 11 to Adam Zampa. Hasaranga's got 10, Norgay 9, Bolt 9, and Pretorius 9. So Adam Zampa's got 11, he's got the most. First to so-called number 1 bowler, Hasaranga. Now Southey will bowl a series of relatively short balls that won't not gather any pace. May suffer the consequences they get a hold of him. He's got a hold of it. It's gone straight up there. It looks high. Well, it's gone over. It's gone for 6. No, Najib's got 63 or 43. He's batting very, very well. He's still delivered. Now, the way that England got beaten by, so that was a bit disappointing. England were clearly looking like favourites. They could have actually lost their position altogether because both Australia and South Africa and England all only lost the one match. Najib, okay, it's Sadran. So Najib Sadran, 65 off 44. 147 strike rate. Very, very impressive. Najib is now 69 off 45 deliveries. The score is 114 off 4. Looked like it was going to go straight up, but it didn't. It went more towards the back and got a 4. CISO's in this one. Add 30 more. I don't know how, but look, there's a single there. They go for the swing. Well, they got 115 now. 2 overs left. They get 20 the last 2. That's 40. It's 155. It certainly isn't we sneeze that. Is he out? Yeah, it looks like caught and bowl there of Southie. That was Nabi for 14. Najib's still there. At 5 down, they've got plenty of we can still go. Good. He wasn't doing much anyway. Oh, yeah, but wasn't an easy catch. So Mohammed Nabi's out for 14. Caught and bowl Southie off 20 balls. Just 14 from 20. Okay, who's coming in now? Who's at 5th drop? Hopefully the dasher. Karim Jannat. He's a fisherman type person. He loves. He should be pretty keen on him with a hit. Karim Jannat. Najib's just hit. It looks like a 4. It's a 4, right? Najib is 73. Now, wouldn't think he's got a chance of scoring 100, but he might. So 73. So got, he got 20 off the 1 over. I'm going to put him in the 90s. Brilliant effort. Still 11 balls to go. He hasn't quite got a hold of this. Looks like we've got a catch taken there. Najib's gone for 73. Looked particularly good, actually. It was a good innings. Just kept one chance. He's like one more too many times. Was a nice catch. I didn't think he had a hope catching that. Conventional straight ball. The ball was lifted. Good diving catch. Good diving catch. Najib 73 off 48 deliveries. Strike by 152. The next person needs to continue that. Was a nice catch. Pretty good batting from this guy, so I'm impressed. So Rashid Khan's come in for the last 10 balls or so. Okay, Rashid Khan, he's a marvel with the bat, ball in the hands. Let's see if he can do a bit of marvelling with his bat now. It doesn't quite go where it was supposed to. So 121 off 18.3. So they're 6.5 and over. Good running. Yep. Look, they won't even survive with 145. Well, we don't know yet. Saudi's just taken it. Looks like a catch. Did he take the catch? Janat's gone from ball one. The 7 of 121. Janat. It's a nice clip actually, but just didn't have enough on to go all the way. Pity. The next match, of course, is between Pakistan and Scotland, with the last one being India vs Namibia tomorrow. $18.4. This says 8 balls left. Mujib Rahman's come in. He's only 20. There's another one, gone. You know that. Mujib, let's see how we go. Mujib says ball. Oh, didn't quite go where he wanted to. Didn't get him a single. So that's it. So the one over left. The 122 off 19. 6.42 is a run rate. So could see 130. You would expect 130. That's not enough. 145 would start to look okay. They've got to score 23 at the last over to do that. Who's the last over to be bowled by? Trent Bolt has got the same amount of wickets as Zampa now, 11, with Hasaranga on 10, Norgay 9, and Petrorius on 9. So, yeah, Australian bowlers only figure through their spinner, Adam Zampa. Very strong. He didn't need knocked out. And if Afghanistan should give up, no, they won't give up. So Neesham by the last over. Rashid Khan will be with 7 wickets down. Can't really afford to go for lose all his wickets, but to an extent he can. With a couple of balls left, he certainly will. He's whacked that, but has it gone far enough? Did he stop that? That was some remarkable feeling. He's going to go and have a look at that, I think. Quite an incredible shot. Sunny's thing, okay. Chandler's Judd Asia is saying we will pack bags and come back and such. Shambles against Thompson. What a feeling. So, that was an amazing feeling. And how he had the mindset to actually throw it back. Five balls left. If he stood there and delivered, he would have got it. He didn't. Incredible feeling. While falling through it back, it's quite remarkable. Daryl Mitchell, the opening bat. Oh, this is not good. Machines with two sitters, actually. Oh, another full toss, not picked up. 124, two balls to go. That's not enough. 124 is not enough. I've got two balls that I'm going to have a bit of a break, guys, so we'll continue the video going. We'll be live, though. We've got 124 here for set up with 7 biggest down. Oh, not connecting. It should be standing there still and then collecting it, not bouncing around. One ball left, 124 the score. Not enough, guys. Probably 20, if not 30 runs too short. Last ball, Rashid facing Nisham. It's got a hold it, but not quite gone. And it was a great catch there by Williamson. And Rashid's out 3 off some 6-7 deliveries. 124 for 8 off 20. 124 8. $124 for 8, Afghanistan. So India, that was actually, so it was actually Pakistan. So I'm not saying Afghanistan. All right. So effectively, that's the end of the innings. We're waiting for the innings to start. Afghanistan scored 7 for 124. Afghanistan scored 7 for 124 off 24 overs. 20 overs. The situation is defendable. Well, it could be. I would normally say it's not enough, but under the circumstances of being a crucial match and some good bowling pressure from both Mujib and Rashid, we could see wickets fall in. Mate, do you think 125? Anything is defendable as long as you bowl well enough. So 124 off. They were actually 8 down, not 7. Eight for 124 off 20. Of course, with the Pakistan game against Scotland, we're looking down the barrel of a match there where all right, is this proverbial end of the road for Indian cricket colleague? I want my comments about what Sana will do. Is that any kind of question? Well, Australia may win the World Cup, but New Zealand will achieve it by the 15th over. We'll see. Sorry. Virat Kohli's captaincy is not good in the IC tournaments. Do you think if New Zealand win, Kohli should be let go be captain for the final match? I don't think he's going to do that, though, but he's not going to do that. We know that he's not going to do that. 8 for 124 after 20 overs, guys. Give me a second. I'll be back. I'm going to drink and some food. I'm going to put some food on now. Give me a break. I'm not going to let the broadcast still continues, but. If Rashid and Majid can bowl 10 overs each, then I would say we have a chance. All right, so if Rashid and Majid can bowl that many overs, well, then we might have. What is the possibility of Afghanistan defending? I would say very low. But if they open up with Rashid and Mujib and they bowl their 8 wickets between them, 8 overs between, they get 5 or 6 wickets, you never know. So tomorrow will be Kohli's last match as captain teach him anyway, but he should also give up the captaincy of ODIs. So he should. Yeah, I would agree with it. Look at Australia; they peaked at the right time despite serious losses. That's called a great team. Now nobody will remember how Australia lost to West Indies in the bilateral series. Yeah, Afghanistan managed just 10. Betrayed India no more. Oh, come on, it's not. You can't blame them. It's not their fault. Okay. Let's wait and see, guys. While we're waiting, you should go and have a look at the Justin Lang interview and the one that's from Rory Burns, guys. It's difficult to say what's going to happen here, man. 124 for 8 should not be enough. Also, Afghanistan still score more runs than India managed to against New Zealand. That's true. England will eat them alive. I would agree with that. Pakistan will be too good for Australia, I reckon. They will be too good. Let us know when the game restarts, guys, because I'm just doing something to eat. All right. Okay, Sonny, blame Coley, not the other. I think New Zealand fielding has saved 24 runs. There's some great catches. Just put some great efforts there. Ouch. We haven't quite returned yet. Chance for clinical Pakistan to iron out the kinks. Yeah, it will be like that. He's a good test captain, Sonny. Okay. And you need a calmer captain like Tony Ryan. New captain is going to be Rohit Sharma for calling sources. Yeah, that's what they're saying. There's little doubt that that's the case. This is the 40th game. We've had 60 in the IPL, so there's been over 100 games here, guys. It's been tiring but great to watch. 76 okay. Sunny to whoosh. Yes, I was Sunny to whoosh business. Yeah, it's been Okay. Nabi starts. Abhishek versus Greek. Afghanistan should have scored more against England. Did score more against them. You've got to remember that. Okay. So Martin Guptill's in bat now. John Mitchell, Mohamed Nabi's opening the bowling. It's not a great scene here. Langer admits inform Australia will need nerves and stills to ace in the knockouts. Okay. It's a great picture with Langer and that together, I think. Look, Australia won the last couple of games quite comfortably, but they didn't play well against England. Okay. Is it a coincidence since 8 years or serious problem in India? No, it's not a serious problem. Let's not get too over the serious problems in India. Australia qualified for just because Australia qualified doesn't mean they're gonna go and win everything. Driver will says driver will help him. I can't blame the global pandemic on Coley. It made it difficult for him. Any captain. Look, Coley's been a great captain, especially Test cricket. Coley has the best record in Test cricket. He's captained the longest, won the most matches, the highest percentage, I think, behind War and some other rare people. You can't knock him. Especially not the Test around. Okay? I'm afraid New Zealand are going to cruise to this winter trip. It's going to depend on the start they get. They're bowled. Mujib's bowling now. He's taken 31 wickets off 22 matches. It's pretty good effort. Mitchell and Guptill looking pretty good. How old's Guptill now, God? Who can tell me how old Martin Guptill is? They're scoring 200 in a World Cup match. Like the cake team. Someone tell me how old Martin Guptill is. It's your job, guys. New Zealand 111 runs up, 109 balls already. They pretty much won a ball. Done 14 off, 15 off 2. Majid was smacked for a couple of fours there. Not good. Someone tell me how old Martin Guptill was. So what did Stoinis say? Australia lost their only match on the jump, but they got smashed by England. Absolutely insurmountably smashed. Ramen? No, it's not ramen, this is pasta. Can someone tell me how old Martin Guptill is? We normally have it there between events. Really can't see. Today's it will be like the time to pack bags home. Well, let's just stop talking this, will you? Let's leave the Indian team alone from it. Okay, let's watch this game. India are going to make their way to Australia. Oh, it's England. That's right. Now India will play team. I don't think Lang has been rewarded for anything at this point. Lang hasn't been rewarded for anything at this point. Darren Mitchell's certainly hitting. Now listening. Naveen Al-Haq's come on. 9 for 20 into the third over. They're praising Mitchell Marsh. I don't know. It's only one performance. All right. Took me, I don't know what you're saying. Vikram Gupta said Timmy is putting pressure on Kohli to stop playing too early, which will make it. I think so. I agree totally. I totally agree. Totally and agree. So Australia's possible. Okay, so They haven't lost any wickets so far, have they? So it's looking pretty much one-sided. So New Zealand did 91 runs off 102 balls. Normally, so early on, that would be deemed to be a very, gettable thing. But you just don't know on the game of cricket. Something can go drastically wrong. If you run out or something happen like that. If people just go the way of Afghanistan, you just don't know. Well, New Zealand could get there in a canter, couldn't they? Okay, so Rory Burns and Justin Lang videos have been uploaded. We've got the live coverage of this now. We've got at least to take a wicket. Darryl Mitchell been caught. Mohammad Shahzad bowled Majid Rahman for 17. Okay. All right. Wings form. No contribution in any big matches. Majid is superb. Mitchell out. Correct. At least that's something. At least they're taking wickets. Could make it a little bit interesting. I need to do a clump of them. Mujib and Rashid are the ones. So, Kane Williamson's in. Martin Gumbel's played 107 T20 internationals. He scored 3,096 runs. He mustn't be that far behind Coley. Kane Williamson scored 1892 off 72. In the bowling department, Nabi, Mujib, and Naveen have been used, but they haven't used Rashid Khan yet. What happens is a tie. Will still mean New Zealand go through. I'm pretty sure. No, it doesn't. No, it would be India go through. No, what is this? What is it? It's a tie. No, New Zealand will be on 7. Yeah, they would go through. Still go through. It's a tie. New Zealand would go through. Right. And you don't want to tie, that's for sure. Which do you like better, Sat Mathodi or Mujib Rashid? I'd say Mujib Rashid. I'll say they're really better too. India will make some more records against Namibia. Let's hope. Okay. India chokers and icy time. Okay. And beautiful drawings thinks India's out of the time. It's not looking good, guys. Let's face it. '91 off 95 balls. Martin Guptill 15. Williamson 2. It's looking like England and Pakistan. Below England will be Australia, and below Pakistan will be New Zealand. South Africa deserves more than India to be in the third. Well, it doesn't matter, does it? Oh, 4.4 is 1 for 35. 90 off 92 balls. Looks like they're cruising, guys, doesn't it? I have had 2.849 million people watch my shows. We won Afro-Asia Cup again. Egg on the face of Indian media and mathematics cricketers. Yeah. Well, I expected India to win. I expected them to win. It's not looking like it's going to happen. So New Zealand batters getting ready there, but 1 for 36, they may not be needed. Conway's next in. He could have well opened, couldn't he? Really? So New Zealand final, beautiful drawings? No, I don't think so. Hamid coming into bowl. Actually, it's Majid who's bowling. Sorry. He bowls a nice little tweaker, doesn't he? Instead of a wish hunt, it's time to retrospect and make necessary changes to the betterment of the team. I agree. Okay. It does look like New Zealand will agonisingly just go and cruise past the score. Almost a catch. No, didn't mention. Well, what happened there? That looked like it almost carried. So Afghanistan 12% winning chance, New Zealand 88%. Sincerely sorry, but Indian players are not to worry about the performances because the next IPL auction knocking their doors for us. So, well, perhaps. Goff will just smack that. He's driven very handsomely. There's no one down there. It's number 4. Looks like Graptel's decided to launch his 24 of 15 full fours. Where Graptel's looking good, isn't it? Love got the world. Love's got the world in motion. Graptel's smashing Afghanistan bowls at the moment. He's playing some good shots. That was a good draw. Okay. That'll be 2-3. And he's going to come third. Also said he's really disappointed with his he's very tough all round. That's shameful performance by Indian. No, there's nothing shameful about this. Let's going too far. Way too much commentary about this so-called shamefulness. They got beaten by a better side in Pakistan, and against New Zealand, things didn't go their way. So I think it's a little bit premature to be saying they were just it's shameful. Rashid Khan, here we go. There's a video there for Justin Langer. Go and look at that, guys, too. Don't forget. Guptill 145 over 6. Normal comments. Okay, what are we looking at? Well, Sonal Gask also said in the video that I saw that. I saw your comment there, man. Yeah, look. Let's just hope that the competition goes well. Let's just hope. And New Zealand, they're cruising, but they should, if they're going to make a stamp on this position that they're in now, they need to do it by way of it was like a top spin, that one. Well played, particularly well played. It's hard to know what Rishi's doing with the ball. Revamp the T20 team. Move the old second string team one. Yeah, there's some certainly. Yeah, I think there's a lot to be discussed there. Even during 36 all out, he said it's okay to. No. I just think New Zealand's played that well, and I think Australia's played that well. I think that England, despite their last game loss against South Africa, and certainly Pakistan deserved to be in the semis, and they deserved to win. They deserved to go through the final. Well, let's hope it sticks to that. New Zealand scored 50 off 7. Looks like India are out. Glasgow the mouthpiece of BCCI. Maybe, maybe not. So 76 and 117 is 193, 268. Okay. We criticise Payas and ex-cricketer, but really they're always because their team performs. That motivates their team to do well. Exactly. Nabi's coming on. He can bowl. Williamson's just cruising. To be honest, not even one ex-cricketer with spine to criticise all yes men. Yeah, well, we'll analyse the Indian team in a minute. I do think Kohli needs to. Well, he's not captaining on us. That's dealt with. Rishabh Pant needs to be looked at very closely. Ishan Kishan's probably a better keeper batsman than him in the moment, in the short form. Hardik Pandya can't bowl, shouldn't play. Ashwin should be in the side the whole time. Shanazer was a bit lame with the batting, but his bowling and fielding is still very good. Sharmi a bit iffy about. Rohit and Rahul opening, there's some concerns around that. This match is excruciating. 152 off 7.3 overs. We all know that New Zealand should get this now. $65 and 98, 99. Pakistan is a more passionate and motivated than team than India, and we can even criticise the likes of Kohli if his fans won't be take a lot. Do you think Ashwin will be? Sorry, I think so. You should. BCCI has become a business hub for the performance they are focused on revenue. Adani, Ambani, Jahan, and beautiful lady there from Afghanistan. Looks magnificent. And the clothing, the colour of the clothing, beautifully dressed. Very good looking on. Bollywood will make a movie of it. Mithran Jahan. New Zealand goes for 70s. They are out England powerhouse. Yeah, I would agree. And same should be Pakistan. So wide. Tourism reserve wide. With sand around there. This is Abu Dhabi. The best ground's got sand and one in grass on two sporting fields. Injury update of Jason Roy. Okay, at this point we're not getting anything more. There's been HL as well. The end of this, Jason Roy could well be out. I think he looked in bad enough state for him to be out. I'd say for the next week or so, which will cut him out of the piles. It's 68 for 69 balls. I just don't like the way New Zealand doing this. They're cruising. They're not really. They should be putting them away if they're going to win. It's this flick of the wrist. Oh, looks like Guptill's gone. And Guptill's out. And Rashid Khan's 400 T20 wickets. Good on the Rashid Khan. That's a milestone. Good bowler. Very good bowler. Let's see what he got here. Oh, it spun beautifully him. Completely outplayed. Didn't know what was going on. Played for the ball going away when it came in. Conway comes in now. New Zealand doing a little bit hard. They're not exactly just cruising here. Rashid goes on a bit of a run there for the last couple of overs he bowls. Takes 4 or 5 wickets. Could change the match. Good bowl, Rashid Khan. Very good bowler. Okay, batting is too strong. Rizwan is a master. I don't think any team will. I would agree. He's a master. Right. Most wickets 553. Dwayne Bravo. It's on the Ryan 425. Imran's here 420, and then Rashid Khan 400. Shakib the same 398. Rashid Khan's on the way to being on the top of that list. Be ranked higher than the Hasaranga at the moment. I think Rashid Khan should be much higher than Hasaranga. How do you add a video onto this? My Wallace are doing quite well there. In almost the political situation again, that looks bleak. We won't even know for how long the team will survive. It's true. Very, very true. So, just need to redirect. 1 second, guys. Just going to go off here for 1 second there. I'm still here, guys. Still here, guys. Okay. You may have lost me there for a second, guys. I'm back up. Looks like your screen on. My future looks like your screen. Is it back now? Just acknowledge it as it back. Let me know if it's back. What are the odds of us winning on right now? Very low. Very low indeed. Okay. Okay, so Hale Norman Kilvish. Why have I got that nickname? Why have I got that nickname, guys? A band, I'm not sure some of these. Very friendly. Maybe a little too friendly there. So 76 M1s with me is oh boy. New Zealand are 2 for 61 after 10 overs. So we're looking at a situation where Williamson on 13, Conway on 2, they're cruising. 64 off less than 60 balls. You would think that there's a cruise mode going on here. Where's this? Did I put that there or not? Yeah, I did. Let's put a rehash here. About to hit 3 hours, guys. I'm waiting for. There we go. Oh, God. Okay, we'll go back to here. By name, it's the Jim. Oh, God. I don't get this. Aren't we all blaming Ashwin for his abysmal performance in the first 2 matches? No. Kohli, cricket, Messi, football, and current time. Anyone agree? Nah. No. I don't know how to do that. I really don't know what's going on. All right. What's the score? Let's see what the score is. Cristiano is making his own football team. He can do whatever he likes. He's with hundreds of millions of dollars, for God's sake. Yes. So, what's the score here? 2 for 69 after the. They're not exactly sprinting away here, are they? They're not exactly sprinting away. Two for 711 point. They need 55 runs off 50 balls. Starting to fall a touch behind, a touch. Okay. Okay, shall we use the news city top? I don't know what's going on with those comments, so I'm not going to comment on them. Yes, 2 for 70 is quite a. Norman, okay. Okay, so we're looking at a situation here where Okay, so the Taliban won't intervene, Abhishek Sharma, don't be silly. At the moment, it is 2 for 73. Williamson's cruising on 22, Conway's 5. They need 52 runs from 45 balls. Kind of got a bit backwards here. Darren Sammy and Danny Morrison are the commentators now. I heard that Cole is undergoing surgery to move his spine now. Spineless. It's not even funny. Damn, Norman, you don't have to be so rude. What? About what? You're the one that's rude. You said it's about spineless. It's ridiculous. I didn't say it. You said it. Okay. Mithra and Jaron, I think this is over 2. I think this over 2 weeks. You think this is over 2 weeks? Okay. There's going to need to be. 47 off 42 balls. In all fairness, it's getting a bit worryingly close. Worrying. And then Conway plays off to the short over cover. According to Lawson's role, it will be the next captain. We're seeing the funny side of it, and you're sitting there all grim. Me, I'm fine. Conway's played some sort of backhanded slap. I don't know what shot that was. Conway's decided to go, I think. Oh my God, two or three fours in a row there. decided to go now. Mind you guys. It's time to open up these now. Looks like it does look like New Zealand's stepping up the pace a bit. And it looks like I'm sure pretty quickly actually. It's not alcoholic. Yeah, so Ashton is more than 100 than Collie. What's it? Russia's final over the last straw. I think it's 6 wickets here. Looks pretty conclusive now. Almost playing some pretty inventive shots. It's hard to play that shot. It's only 6 or 16. Apparently, was supposed to be here a while ago and she hasn't come. Looks like we've got England finishing first, Australia finishing second in Group 1, Group 2, Pakistan followed by New Zealand, with India probably positioning herself at third. New Zealand exactly haven't emphatically smacked this. So with England, Australia, New Zealand joining Pakistan. Let's close up. Pretty proud of these guys. It's gone up. It should be caught, and now it's landed safely. New Zealand should beat England this time. They deserve the cup. Oh, they got the World Test Championship. They don't deserve this. Pakistan do. And possibly England. Imagine winning 2 World Cups in the same year. That would be pretty amazing. I don't think I would agree with that. At least in West Indies don't have media. Well, of course they have media. 24 of 30 balls. The Conway on 26 and Willis on 29. Great catches. It was incredibly well stopped. Need 23 from 20 balls. This is a bit of a frustrating struggle here. Really, I don't like this. They should be winning easily. South Africa didn't have a chance to choke. They weren't good enough. They won the last game, which was pretty impressive. But now after the tag of flat track bully team, anyway, they are minnow actions. Yeah. $18 runs to win now. It's not going to know what happened to time to pack bags. Not looking good. I have to go. Okay. It's excruciating. This is excruciating, guys. It's 13 excruciating. Let's put this back. Oh my gosh. Okay, we've got two guests, have we? Aparna's here. Aparna's saying
Hello.
it's been 3 hours and 21 minutes since we started.
Yeah. Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
amazing. 3 hours.
And we've got an excruciating game here. New Zealand are just, have you watched it? New Zealand are,
Yes.
I mean, New Zealand are going to win this match, but they're doing it in such a uninteresting way. They're 216 chasing 124, and they're milking it to the last over. It's disgraceful.
I think I call this slow kill.
Yeah, it feels like they're cutting out the ears first and the toes, and
Now they're humiliating India in a very decent way, I think. And let the Indian fans hoping for that last ball that we would have liked to see India actually in the finals perform against whatever team it would be. We are here hoping that New Zealand lose for that same last ball because they are doing it really nice and slow. But with every ball, India's dream for this World Cup is going away.
that's true. That's true. Can I just quickly say, I mean, you look at the situation with South Africa beating England last night. Bizarre. Australia won easily, yes. Against the West Indies, they didn't care. I mean, Chris Gale was mucking around in the end. Realistically, England beat Australia by 10 weeks, whatever it was. They absolutely smashed Australia. Then Australia, of course, earlier on beat South Africa. But then South Africa beat England. How does that make any sense?
Well, nothing makes sense in this T20 World Cup. I think there's a lot of players have been performing weirdly to the
Oh,
expectations.
gotcha.
And if you look at it, I mean, sorry to cut you off, but to come back to the topic, I mean, I have to mention this that India has really disappointed us, but we have to look at the reasons. Where have India missed or about to miss the knockouts? I mean, 2009, the IPL took place in South Africa, right? And the World Cup, I think, started about somewhere in June, first week. So the Indian players had no time to recovery after a hectic 2 months of traveling and cricketing. in South Africa. I mean, the conditions in England too were significantly different than it was in South Africa. And even Dhoni was the captain. Lost all the three Super 8 games to West Indies, South Africa, and England. So, it's the IPL fatigue, and it has to be noted that Pakistan didn't have any representation in the IPL, and they went on to win the World Cup T20 in 2009. If you look at it in 2010, IPL took place in April, and India were in West Indies immediately after that for World Cup in April 30. So 5 days gap. This time too, India were miserable in Super 8 and going down to Australia, Sri Lanka, and West Indies. The slow pitches of West Indies has been, they weren't very, conducive, I would say, for the Indian stroke players, especially after 2 months long fest of runs in the IPL. So 2012, same, cannot be contributed directly to IPL, but because India went into the World Cup in Sri Lanka 2 months after the event, so we can't really say that was the fatigue. But the Indian players has reached out in their T20 books during the franchisee event, and this is all about money or the glitz and glamour. It was difficult.
It's too much.
Yeah, to perform well in World Cup T20, and they won 2 games in the Super 8s and were knocked out on a net run rate. So with Australia and Pakistan going through from that group again. So 2021, I mean, if it hasn't been for COVID, like we wouldn't have got this extraordinary situation where India had to go in the World Cup T20 right away after the second phase of IPL, right? But just Preet Bumrah pointed out bubble fatigue, may have been a factor that the Indian players aren't able to perform in the UAE since September, before a long series in England. All the hype around adjusting to UAE pitches by playing IPL has also, fallen flat. And teams like Pakistan and England, which have more fresh players after a decent break, have looked away more threatening so far. So, if we trace the shortcomings in India's T20 World Cup plans, technically, we haven't really actually given it a shot properly. I mean, it has been a recipe for disaster. Each time India have failed to qualify for the knockouts of World T20, they have gone in event after the IPL franchise cricket. I mean, they become champions in 2007 and the IPL wasn't there. In 2014 and 16, they have made the finals and semi-finals respectively. The World T20 took place just before the IPL. So that's my point. I think if the IPL has to be blamed.
The second half of the IPL caused all sorts of grief. There's no doubt about that. And that would have affected almost all the Indian players. Even, you'd argue with the Australian preparation for their Ashes series will be affected because they're all in a World Cup mode at the moment. So, yeah, look, this is a disaster. New Zealand are really just stretching this out. It's now into the 18th, 19th over to get 124. Look, England should smash New Zealand, realistically. Even though England didn't play well against South Africa last night, they've just won. New Zealand have just won. So New Zealand are definitely through to the semi-final now. Afghanistan, India both out. It's going to be England versus New Zealand for one semi and Australia versus Pakistan for the other. You would hope that England and Pakistan win the matches and go through to the final purely because they won the most emphatically throughout the tournament. So New Zealand have scraped their way in. Australia have, you would argue, scraped their way in.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is it. It's a New Zealand win by 8 wickets.
I mean, Australia has come good, even though their regulars were out of form. Like many, an Indian team, like regulars are out of form. It's not harsh to say. Many leading batsmen, they have carried the IPL form into the World Cup, like Rohit Sharma. 0 against Pakistan, 14 or 14 against New Zealand after being dropped by a first ball. So that was his chance given already. Is the only member from India's winning 2007 team still around. But he hasn't sparked in T20 World Cups for some time. I mean, his last 10 innings have fetched him only 160 runs. So that's not a huge number we're looking at. And we have, sort of high expectations. Look at what about Hardik Pandya? The team's management has faith in his batting capability, which hasn't reflected in his figures. I mean, in 7 T20 World Cup games, he has now 50 total runs. That's bizarre.
Awful. He should be dropped immediately. He can't bowl. He's not bowling. He's batting very poorly. What's he doing in the side?
We spent 5 years for training and the money and everything. Yeah.
Even we shot punts on notice because Ishan Kishan could easily go in there and do the job. So there's so many concerns at the moment, you would argue, with this Indian side, and they have to really, work out what's going on. So so Afghanistan after their allotted overs, what did they get? They got, what was the score they got? Let's have a look at the score they got. They got 8 for 124.
Yes.
8 for 124.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty poor. But I'm very annoyed with the way New Zealand just seem to just play with this whole thing. They should have, if teams like England and Pakistan would have beaten Afghanistan after 10 overs. And that's the problem here, that I don't think New Zealand realised the importance of smacking sides and not allowing this sort of, this is not good. I hope England smash them. I really do. And I hope Pakistan do the same to Australia. Really, these two sides that have gotten through, I'm so frustrated with the way the West Indies play. I'm so frustrated with the way India played. It's been a really, really awful around performance by a few teams.
Yes.
It was adorable. That's right. That's someone's just said.
And you were talking about Ishan Kishan. I mean, the top order, it's been a muddle. I mean, India decided to play musical chairs with the top order, but it only, betrayed a sense of indecisiveness. After Pakistan game, Virat Kohli lost his patience when he asked if Ishan Kishan could have been, played at the top of the order. Will you drop Rohit Sharma? And his reply, the very next game, Kohli went with Kishan and Rahul as openers, Rohit at number 3, and demoted himself to number 4. The move failed badly, so perhaps Surya Kumar Yadav ultimately, back spams and what has messed up their plans as well. So India were hoping Rahul would, replicate his 48 ball for 98, and Kishan could come up with something similar. But together, in a World Cup game against the New Zealand attack, well, wishful thinking.
Absolutely. This is very wishful thinking. It's awful. I'm trying to look at some. It's trying to look at some of these results. The scorecard that we can see there. Player of the match was Trent Bolt. I don't know what did he do? What did Trent Bolt do?
I think he's got
he got 3 for 17.
Yes.
It's not really anything. I thought New Zealand were underwhelming, really. Even though they
I know. Even Rashid wasn't used. I mean, I was really until I think 4th or 5th over, he wasn't given a ball. I don't understand why Afghanistan was keeping him off.
Yeah. Well, this has been such a frustrating situation. So, look, regardless of what people's favourite teams are, Pakistan and England should be in the final. And New Zealand and Australia, even though they've made the semi-finals, I don't think deserve to be anywhere near a final. And I just hope that we see, in the last two matches, we see Pakistan emphatically beat Scotland and India beat Namibia confidently to at least have resounding ends to the series. That's what I'm hoping. And let's hope that that's the way it goes. But otherwise, I'm not sure. All right, Aparna. You got any final comments to make to finish this episode? We've got tomorrow. We have got a game coming up after this, which is Pakistan versus Scotland. Okay, and then it happens in about another. Well, the toss is about another 21 minutes away.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's irrelevant now. Pakistan are through, but I think Pakistan should cleverly make sure they give Scotland a nice old smacking. Jason Roy injured himself in the England match, which is a blow for them. But Pakistan need to smack Scotland, and tomorrow's match will be India versus Namibia. Almost a pointless match to play, you would argue, considering India are out, and there's no hope for anything there. Bit of salvage, a bit of pride, but that's going to be a rather anticlimactical match to finish off the series. Then we move into the semi-finals and final. Now, I was going to go to the finals, and I could go tomorrow, but I'm a bit reluctant now. I don't really want to go and watch Pakistan play England in the final, to be honest with you. But I was hoping India would.
I know.
If it was an India-Pakistan final, oh my God, that would have been humongous, but it's not.
Well, the first match was, and I think after watching that, I would highly doubt how many of Indian fans out there would want to watch any of that showcase of pure insult, where I think India was playing musical chairs with their top orders. Even after that, they didn't pick up the game. I mean, India has performed terribly over these years against New Zealand, especially. I mean, they have lost, I think they've won 6 matches out of 17, and New Zealand was 9, and 2 was tie. So that's what included in India's 8 wins. That's just disgusting. I mean, it's just they really have to pick up the game, and this franchisee cricket has to be blamed. That's my final words, considering India is out of this tournament. And also Kohli's decision to step down, which was sudden announcement. I mean, he would have, announced. Why would T20 captaincy after this tournament saying that at that time is very untimely? Why don't you do it before the World Cup itself, allowing the new captain to firm up his plans? I mean, why not announce the resignation after, if you have made your mind? It's very untimely. And did the introduction of Dhoni as mentor introduce one strategistic too many? So could be very things. This is unsettled vibe in the lead up, and this reflected on their performance. Nothing worked out for them in this tournament. To win would have made a significant difference. That's something of a lesson I think they would remember now, because they have for long forgotten, feels like, in how IPL and that got carried away. It happens, I mean, it's not IPL, it's a World Cup. I mean, 2 losses can make a massive difference, and India has lost poorly against Pakistan and New Zealand. When there is only one way to play T20 cricket. You have to be optimistic, you have to be positive, and take calculated risk. That's what this format is about. So
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, we didn't see much of any of those. And I've highlighted the factors that I thought was responsible, but there would be a lot of things to talk after as well. So we'll leave that for later. But very sad that India's not been able to make through, and this magic that could have happened by New Zealand losing tonight would have made a difference. But hey, we've got another World Cup to come. Hopefully the dust of the glitz and glamour for IPL is settled by then, and these players do understand the reputation that's at stake for playing international cricket.
Yes, well said, Aparna. So we've got now some 17 minutes before the toss is made for Pakistan, Scotland. You would think Pakistan are very buoyant, having now they're fully aware they're playing against Australia. They gear towards that. But England, New Zealand, they're in a good position. Pakistan really have been a cut above everybody else. England certainly have too, but they did stumble against South Africa. We'll ignore that game. The reality is that I think Pakistan
Why?
should absolutely pulverise Scotland.
Because of Pakistan players don't play in IPL.
That's true. There's no fatigue there, is there?
I mean, they're over it completely. And that's sad because this is international cricket. You're representing a country. The name is at stake. What's more important? We'll let them decide that. But this needs to be changed. The team management need to really, make some decisions. There's a lot of undecidedness and a lot of untimely decisions and announcements has also affected the performance. So yeah, Pakistan may as well win this World Cup. I mean, I can see that happening.
Well, we know that things can happen at the last minute and go wrong. We know that a team like Australia might sneak in there, but I hope Pakistan haven't kept their worst game to the end. I just hope not. So you got Dekshish Gowda D says he's a big fan of yours.
Hi, thank you. That's so sweet of you. Do subscribe my channel. Probably you're from my channel, I'm not sure. But do subscribe Norman's channel as well. Eyes on Cricket
Well, tell
with
them about
Norman.
your channel. Quickly, tell them about your channel.
Yeah, so my channel is all about cricket. I'm great cricket fan like all the others. And in India, I believe cricket is more than a sport. It's an emotion, it's a religion, and that's how I like to do my discussions for India. Where they're wrong. And Norman is where I am right now in Australia. And please, my followers from my channel right now watching this, go and follow and subscribe Norman's channel, Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnak.
Well, Cricket Conversation with Aparna Saini is a dual platform for both of us, so we're on both channels. You'll be able to see either. So go and have a look at Aparna's one, and also your Instagram there, and you've got there below Saini _02. Aparna Saini, if you Google that,
few thousand Instagram followers that Norman is still jealous about. Just joking.
So there you go. Someone's asking if I've got OnlyFans. No, I haven't got OnlyFans. I don't
What's
do
that?
nudes. If you're asking, I don't do nudes, guys. I'm sorry. It's probably not a good idea. Ma'am, please come daily. You've been asked to come daily. Well, she is meant to be daily. She's a very busy woman. But yeah, we've got her here now, so that's a good thing, guys. So at this point, we've got some 14 minutes to go before the Pakistan Scotland game. I'll post that, guys, as to who's on the toss and who's batting and bowling, and the teams as well. So, Aparna, last words from you before we call. What do you want to keep going? It's up to you. How do you feel?
Yeah, no, up to you. I mean, you have been going on for quite a few
3 hours and 46 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I understand you need a break. I mean, you miss your family or your wife, girlfriend, whoever. So go reunite. I understand. We won't give you that bubble fatigue that India has. Can use it as an excuse. So you don't have to use that as an excuse. I understand you must be tired, so I'll let you go. We'll wrap it up. But yes, I would like to hear from you. Are you disappointed by India's knock?
Hugely. We should never have even contemplated leaving in the hands of Afghanistan to beat New Zealand. It's intriguing how in the other group, England lost one match and almost got themselves knocked out of the semi-finals, because if Australia and South Africa had better run rates, they would have went through. They were all 4 games, one loss, which is quite incredible. In this particular case, Well, because New Zealand won now, they're clearly second, but they made a major blunder when they got beaten by New Zealand. They should have beaten New Zealand, and that would have changed everything. They would have then been in a position to get through. And now at the moment they're struggling, and they can't get through. New Zealand are through. New Zealand are on better points differentiation. New Zealand won 4 matches, only lost the 1, and that was against Pakistan. Whereas India lost 2 and only won 3. Well, they've won 2 so far. They've got to play a 3rd match to win tomorrow. So it's very frustrating for India. It's very frustrating. The way the West Indies played was frustrating. South Africa and Australia played better than I thought. South Africa didn't make it through. Australia have. New Zealand, even though they won today, they didn't win convincingly in my thoughts. England hopefully smacked them, and Pakistan should beat Australia. But there is some danger that Pakistan might leave their worst performance to the game in the semi. Let's hope not.
Well, I think, Norman, you must be happy at least Australia still, went through, and yeah, you still have hopes for it. Very sad for the Indian fans out there, including myself, and you being Indian supporter as well. So yeah, we'll miss that action that we could have seen in the semis and hopefully in the final, but didn't happen. Bad luck. Maybe next time. Lucky that we did not lose against New Zealand.
Next time is next year in Australia. It's only just under a year away now. We've been playing right here. It's too soon, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully that's why I'm going to highlight whatever I have, because I don't want them losing here. I mean, where I'm going to hide. So anyway, Trey.
I've got Rory Burns and Justin Langer. They were interviewed, but I've also got Jim and Julie, my friends from California. They went to Tahiti.
Oh, nice.
They're in Tahiti now, and I sent you the video. If you can try and sell it with an MP4, wouldn't want to help me without that. They're there, and they're in a $1,500 night US room.
Wow. Lucky.
It's a bungalow
I'm
over
jealous.
Bora Bora. That's definitely. I'm going to be going there. 2023. I'm in Bora Bora for sure.
18 well, we all had plans.
Got to dream big. All right, pal. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Norman. Thank you, whoever watched our show tonight. Well, India's out, but we're still in the game. So keep watching us, and we'll discuss more about what happened with India and the other games coming through. So
not forgetting Pakistan are on after. Then we've got India tomorrow against Namibia. Then the 2 semis. It'll be England versus New Zealand and Pakistan versus Australia. And the winners go through the final next weekend. So it's all still to happen.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Norman. Lovely to be on the show.
All right, pal. Hang on a sec, just before you go. See you all later, guys. We're going to say joint goodbye. See you soon.